Red letter day for Burnley as Liverpool's Anfield run comes to an end thanks to Ashley Barnes' late penalty that helped Burnley register a 1-0 win at Liverpool's Fortress. Today on our show, we have Alan with us, who is a football enthusiast. Hello, Alan. Welcome to our show.
Thank you, Kaustav. Pleasure to be here.
Today on our show, we'll be discussing Liverpool's horrific loss to Burnley and Chelsea's crisis with Lampard in charge. Alan, let's start with the biggest news in sporting world right now. Burnley getting the better of Liverpool. What are your thoughts on that game?
Well, it's difficult to have thoughts on this one because you never expected it to happen. But now that it has, it makes for a good time to, sit back and evaluate Liverpool's recent performance as well, because they haven't been doing well of late for sure. Because if you see the last 3 to 4 games, they have gone goalless, right? And that just says that there was a disaster in the awakening about to happen, and that has hit hard. And I'm sure Jurgen Klopp's juggernaut that was halted much before this loss, he'll realize that he needs to do some reevaluations and probably not take any side lightly in the Premier League, because he's still playing the Premier League. It's not a second or third division tier that he's playing, and every team has this moment where they can surprise and they can shock real heavyweights in this league. So I would say that it's time for Liverpool to actually pull up their socks and stockings and ensure that it doesn't happen, because they're facing off against United just over the weekend, and it's time when they should probably factor in a lot of areas where they're lacking consistency, and probably go on full gusto. I don't think that they should be very disappointed, because they are still amongst the contenders for the title, and they are still very much in the race. But yeah, I'm sure, and this also makes it very even, because United have also lost a game. There's no team as of now in the Premier League that's undefeated. So it also it spices up the league to an extent. So yeah, there's a lot of good takeaways. But if you're a Liverpool fan, of course.
Definitely. But when you think of from this angle, Liverpool not scoring a goal in their last 4 fixtures. The last time it happened, it was in the year 1999 and 2000, when they were playing under Gerard Houlliers' tutelage. What is the reason why a team like Liverpool is not scoring goals and missing to hit the target?
So I think it would be a major reason for Liverpool's setback would be they took the opponent too lightly, and they benched really 2 important players for this game, and Firmino and Salah. So I reckon and giving 2 not inexperienced, but players that have not had much game time, taking them into a side just because it's Burnley wasn't a very wise idea, and they should recalibrate the decisions in the future and see that they don't make such mistakes, because this is a league where they still have a lot of chances, but the FA Cup fixture against United will not give them a chance to bounce back in the tournament. So yeah, they should do better.
I mean, absolutely, as you said, Liverpool, not facing any defeat in nearly 4 years at Anfield. To be precise, 1,369 days later, they have had their first loss at home, that was against Burnley. What impact would that have to Burnley's campaign, considering the fact that they are battling the relegation?
I'd say it's a very big confidence boost for Burnley, because they put out a splendid performance against Arsenal also very recently, and that just shows to say that they have the quality in their side. You could always say that they scored out of a penalty and it was a spot kick, so they got lucky somewhere. But whatever, they are, even the tiny piece of luck that they're getting, they're actually cashing up on all their opportunities. And yeah, it's a very good boost for the players and the entire team, because they're out of the relegation. At least they're safe for now, and if they have beaten the big guns, then it's good signs for them. It's good signs for the Clarets, and after 46 years, they've managed to do it over here. So that also says how big an achievement it is for the entire unit. So yeah, kudos to Burnley on that.
And a fun fact, even last season, Burnley were the only team to take points off Liverpool at home. That speaks a lot. I mean, that will certainly have their tails up going forward in the league.
Yeah, and they contest very closely with I think Brighton as well, and it really helps them, because the bottom 4 usually they are not given much attention to, but it's an exciting contest amongst these teams as well, so as to who plays, because we all know the difference between playing the Premier League and what the Championship is. So yeah, it means a lot to the side.
And from Liverpool's perspective, what impact would this result have on their title aspirations, considering the fact that both Manchester clubs are now gaining momentum?
So yeah, it's as you said, the Manchester teams, they're actually doing quite well, and their coaches have also put in a lot of effort, as we can see. And I think there are a few alarm bells that are ringing for Liverpool over here, because if they don't put on good performances, then they can fall far behind. They're not far behind yet, but they don't want to be where Chelsea is sitting at the moment. So yeah, they need to really work hard.
We'll come to that later in our episode. But before that, transfer window is now open. Do you think Liverpool should add any big names to their squad, considering the fact that they are lacking in momentum right now?
Yeah, I would say that Liverpool, they really need to work on their defense a bit, because as you can see, Firmino is pushed back from his main roles because he's trying to play fiddle between both, being CDM as well as being an attacking midfielder. So I think getting a defender like Upamecano from RB Leipzig, that there were the talks doing the rounds. So I think if that goes ahead and they can get a really strong defender to enhance the back line, then that gives a little more room to the midfielders and strikers to the forward ahead.
So coming to your favorite team, Alan, Chelsea, who is sitting 8th right now in the position. We have had 19 games so far. We are left with 19 games, so exactly halfway through. What is your assessment of Frank Lampard's managemental career so far at Chelsea, especially this season?
Like Frank Lampard, to be honest, has had a very glorious career at Chelsea as a player. But yeah, as a manager, it has not been, because we always, I think one reason is we always see Frank Lampard as a player, and we forget that, he's making his debut as a manager as well. So, you need to give him that time, and it has taken great managers. It has taken them more than a season or two to actually show their, true flair, and yeah, their tactics to really come to bear fruit. So yeah, I think it's early days for him. He's still halfway through the league. So it would be a shame if Chelsea doesn't make it to the top four and doesn't go through to play the Champions League. It would be a while since they have last not played in the Champions League. So that would be something that it would be a big setback for Chelsea and for Lampard. But I think as a coach overall, he has done fairly well. Like, he has at least managed to hit the bare minimum, and he has not fallen beyond. If Chelsea goes into the bottom half of the table, then I would say that it really is very threatening for a Chelsea fan and for Chelsea as a club. But right now, I still think they still have a lot of. They're trying a lot of new things. They're trying a lot of experimenting with their positions. They are trying to play Ziyech sometimes behind, sometimes ahead. So it's kind of still it's still experimenting days. It's the early days for Chelsea and for Lampard. So yeah, we need some time. That's it.
Interesting point you made there. Like, Lampard needs time, but time is exactly what you don't get when you're a Chelsea manager. Do you think Lampard will get enough of time opportunity at Chelsea if he fails to get Chelsea into the top four, or do you think there are other managers available right now who can replace him at Chelsea at any given point?
I think when Chelsea, they got Lampard on board, also the team had a vision, because Chelsea has always had this thing that they want their local guns to, they want their local young lads to play for the club. So and Lampard is exactly that, right? He's what do you say? It's his home club. He's played for Chelsea through his career. I mean, of course, bearing when he switched sides, but yeah, that was fairly late in his career. That was the twilight of his career. So yeah, you can't blame players for doing that in the twilight of their careers. But yeah, he is a Chelsea legend, to say, and I think Chelsea should give him that that extra time that we're saying over here he's running out of. Not exactly, because even Sir Alex Ferguson took some time. Yeah, so when you put him in the managerial legends category, then he still has a lot of time, because yeah, Chelsea is a big club, but then so is he. So, yeah.
Alright, so what changes do you think he needs to make in his starting lineup going forward? Does he need to give more chances to someone like Olivier Giroud or Callum Hudson-Odoi, who are performing fairly well when they are given the opportunity?
So yeah, I'd say that he has spent big amounts on Timo Werner and Kai Havertz, and they are not performing as we'd like them to. But I think he can actually definitely give more chances to Hudson-Odoi, who's again he's a talented youngster, and he can come to his true potential. It can show. So I think if he has a little more faith in Giroud and in Hudson-Odoi, then yeah, I'm sure things could be different for them.
All right, so going forward, tell me honestly if you think Chelsea will seal the top 4 position in the Premier League at the end of the season.
See, it's halfway through, right? And they are still in the top half of the table. So it's they have they have a likely chance to reach the top four if they stay in the top half for the few matches that they're going to play next. If not, then it's very difficult for them to come over there. So if they're in the top half in the next say 3 to 4 games, then yeah, they have a strong chance of making it.
And who is that one player, according to you, who you think can drive Chelsea to that top four position?
For me, I think it would be Mason Mount because the free kicks he has taken this season are really crazy, and he's really put a lot of spark into the team. So for me, it would be Mason Mount.
All right, then on that note, I'd like to conclude this episode. Thank you, Aaron, for your honest opinion. I'm sure people watching it enjoyed it. And if you guys really liked it, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Also, you can tell us in the comment section below what topic do you want us to cover in the next episode. You can also follow us on social media and check our website for all the latest updates. Till then, it's me, Kaustubh Pawar, bidding you goodbye.